Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I mean, what do we say? What do we say from here? Because it's just crap, innit? It's just so crap. And it's boring. And it just there's been what, a 10%, 5% reaction to the first two games, and I don't know what we do. I don't know what we go from it. I mean, the fact that we've topped this group with 5 points is just... It's got to be the worst Euros group ever, by a long way. I mean, it's been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible. It was another terrible performance, another clueless performance. I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. Ricky, hey Gary, I hope you're okay, mate. The result was a letdown tonight, but at least we avoid Spain, Germany, Portugal and France until the final, but Netherlands could potentially not. Be honest with you, mate, playing at this rate, anybody could knock us out at the minute. You know, if we're struggling to get through the group, and when I mean that, that's one win. Just for context, England have now won 2 of their past 8 matches. The form isn't there. There is no form. England are completely out of form at the minute. Completely out of form, and you can't see. Southgate doesn't have the answers at the minute, does he? He just does not have the answers, and I don't know. I just don't know where we go. I do not know where we go from here. I really don't. I mean, what we got? Congratulations, Slovenia. I mean, yeah, congratulations to Slovenia, definitely. It's like Southgate has to respect seniority in order to keep the squad happy, so he can't simply select Manu. He has to try Trent and Gallagher first. I mean, Rice has now had, what, 2-3 partners in 3 games? And I would say Rice has been terrible. Bellingham's been terrible, apart from the opening match. Rice and Bellingham have been dreadful. Absolutely dreadful, and rightly. If it wasn't Rice and Bellingham, fans would be calling for them to be dropped. They've been so poor. Group C is not good. No, it's been terrible. England's solo bad. We were actually attacking, just couldn't score. No communication. Why do we play? It's just no pace. No attacking intent. No flair. I mean, Palmer was so much more effective when it came on. Manu was better. I mean, the only substitution, the only change you made from the previous games was bringing in Gallagher in, and it didn't work. Within 45 minutes, it didn't work. I guess form has to turn at some point. Yeah, I mean, we're not in form at all. This team is not in form, and this is a problem that goes beyond the Euros. England weren't in form coming into this tournament. It's as simple as that. Luck is on our side of the bracket. I mean, Luck is 100% on our side. No way should we be topping this group. I mean, we've been awful. Let's start with the positives. The only one I've got is the pitch didn't tear up like it did against Denmark. That's it. I can't think of any other positives. If we're looking at positives as a group, as a team, Mark Gahey probably comes out on top. Probably the only player who's coming out with any sort of shining light. You could argue Foden was slightly better today. A little bit more effective. He looked like the only player who was willing to try something, but the attacking intent is just woeful. You could probably argue one positive is that England don't look like losing games and we don't concede chances. We look incredibly solid at the back, but that's all we are, just solid at the back. We've got no attacking intent whatsoever. Southgate out. North Fence. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I guess the form has to turn at some point. Yeah, the subs were only ones who made any impact. Yeah, and we need to see some of those start now. Luck is on our side. I've wasted another 90 minutes of my life. Joey Sparks, do you think Jamie Vardy was a viable option for this tournament? No, I do not. But I also think Ollie Watkins is and should have got a game. I mean, when did he bring Gordon on? 90th minute. He gave him, what, 4 minutes? 4, 5, 6 minutes. That was it, max. And he was brilliant. Forward passing. You know, he actually tried to make something happen, as did Palmer. But he's not giving him long enough. The system's just a mess. The system does not work. The players are getting frustrated with each other. None of them have a clue what they're supposed to be doing. England are awful in the group stage at Euro 2020, but this is worse. This is far worse, Ricky. Far, far, far worse. Will, love your stuff, mate. Just sub to the channel. Thank you, mate. Great to have you with me. Shane, should Kane be dropped? Surely Southgate can't accept a captain that wasn't present for 90 minutes. 100%. No one's undroppable, Shane. Nice to have you on the channel, mate. No one's undroppable. Nobody is. And that's what the mindset needs to be now. There's no point having this amazing squad that we keep going on about if they're all just going to automatically come back in for the next game. Kane's doing nothing, is he? He's offering nothing. So the system doesn't work, or the players he's playing in that system doesn't work. So one thing needs to change. Either the players change or the system changes. It can't stay the same status quo. I hope Mainu starts the next game. Yeah, Mainu was all right when he came on. He looks like he'll probably fill that massive gap in central midfield that we have. This is why Solanke should have been called up. All this is coming home won't happen under Southgate. I predicted all these 3 games to end like this. Awful team out in round of 16. I mean, we don't fully know yet who we're going to get in the round of 16. If we'd have finished second, if Denmark would have scored, we'd have been out in the next round. We'd have been out because we'd have got Portugal or Germany if we'd have finished second. I think if we'd have finished second, we'd have got Germany. We'd have been out. I still think it isn't fully decided yet who we're facing. We do play the game this Sunday. 4 days, 18 hours, 47 minutes. Sunday, 5 p.m, England are in the round of 16. And I'll be honest with you, I can't think of any team that I would want this current England crop of players at the minute. And this performance, I can't think of anyone I fancy us against now at the minute. Considering the fact that Iceland beat us at Wembley before this tournament as well. I felt it was slightly better than the first 2 games despite not getting a goal. I think one of the teams it may be is the Netherlands. I know that is a high probability it could be the Netherlands we play. Southgate is definitely a gate because he's a plank. The quarterfinal will be tough for us if we are through. I mean, the problem is I mean, it's great. We're not conceded. At the same time, you're not going to obviously go through, are you, if you're not creating anything? And it's just, I mean, is this tournament football? We've all seen teams play really, really well, and then here. Some positive, some performances, because all week all they've been doing is moaning about the press they've had, the public moaning, being booed off. You've had the senior players coming out and crying over spilt milk, and they then go and put another performance in like that, and they can't complain when the England fans, they're doing their part. I don't know if you heard the fans tonight, if you was there at the game. The England fans are singing their heart out. The England fans are brilliant. They're there in numbers, dominating the ground. We're doing our part and getting nothing back in return. And then, in fact, at the minute is the players coming out and moaning about the criticism they're getting. It is not good enough. It is not good enough. They need to get this in their head. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. The harmony's not there. This England team's way off, though. It's miles off. But tournament football is tournament football. I've said it a million times. You do not have to be the best team at the tournament to win it. In fact, far from it. Argentina weren't the best team in the World Cup. Portugal weren't the best team when they won the Euros. There's probably numerous tournaments that I can think of where you don't have to be the best team. It just feels like it's going to be 10 times harder, doesn't it? It just feels like it's going to be so much harder. Well, I might be alone in this, but I'm happy we won the group. The big four are the other side of the draw, and we should have a fairly straightforward last 16. Yeah, I mean, but the problem is who we're playing against. Everybody we're playing against at the minute, everyone is going to cause us problems, or we're going to struggle against them. That's genuinely what I feel at the minute. The Netherlands lost to Georgia, so if we do go against Netherlands, it's a 50-50 for me. We are too defensive. I can't see us going through to the next round. Gareth, nice to have you with me, mate. No, I agree. We are too defensive. I think it's the lack of either ability or willingness to just run with the ball, break the line. Someone put on the group chat tonight, Raheem Sterling's missing, and I get it. I get what they mean. It's someone who just picks the ball up and runs at the defenders and just breaks up that back four, back three, whatever they're defending with. And there's no one doing that at a minute. And you could argue Palmer started to do that when he came on. Gordon started to do that. And we just need more of that. Stream was glitching out like mad. Thank you for letting me know. Just let me know if it's still pretty bad. I think it's... I've got it loaded up on air, but let me know. Can't do anything about the internet for some reason. It's quite bad tonight. Would your... sorry, Matt. Matt, nice to have you with me, mate. What would your starting 11 be for the next round? The same... I would change the back four around. Trippier's got to come out. That left wing for the third game in a row is still a problem. So that needs to come. That needs to change. So I would argue put in someone else left back and Trent or Walker right back, or Walker left back and Trent right back. Other than that, the back four stays the same. I mean, Rice and Bellingham's the dilemma because they're not playing well enough. I mean, Mainoo's probably got to come in. And then I would look then starting, surely Palmer or Gordon have got to start on that left wing. And then I would give another striker a go. So simple answer, I would change the left back position. I would bring Mainoo in, change the left wing, and possibly look at bringing Kane out. So I would potentially make 4 changes for the next round. Bagani, we could be against Netherlands or Czech Republic. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Gahey. Gahey's been really good. Gahey has been the only shining light. If Sesko had Illich from the start, the outcome could have been totally different. Does Palmer need to start ahead of Saka? I'll be honest with you, I don't think Saka's been terrible. I'm not going to sit here and slate Saka. I think he's been half decent. Seem to have missed my last comment. Johnny, I didn't. I mentioned... Let me scroll back up. Here we go. I answered you. Do you think Jamie Vardy was a viable option for this tournament? No, is the answer. Jamie Vardy is not a reliable option for this tournament. Mate, do we need... Sure, desperately. Sorry, I do know Johnny Sparks in real life, for those wondering why I'm replying to him in that manner. Mate, do we need Shaw desperately to complement Gordon on the left? I think we just need... We need a change there. I mean, there is Gomez who can play there. Walker could possibly do a different job, but it's almost the same problem with Trippier. It's a square peg in a round hole. It just makes him leaving players like Tyreek Mitchell at home even more confusing, doesn't it? And even, dare I say, even Ben Chilwell, he was fit. So why didn't Gomez come on? I don't know. DH89, Eze, Palmer, Cole attacking the flanks more and earlier. Why isn't Southgate changing things quicker when it hasn't worked in 3 games? I mean, in the other game, he brought players on. He gave them 30 minutes. He brought those 3 attacking players anyway. It's Denmark and gave them 30 minutes. But the problem is he changed too much too quickly. And there was no coherence there. I think the substitutions he made at the right time. If you're going to bring Gordon on, though, he needs more than 4 minutes. Why not bring him on when he brought Palmer on, for example? I think we can build on that performance. It's a tournament I'd rather play distinctly average, win our group, and have played straightforward. Last 16 then lose heroically and have a really tough draw. Also, what's up with Foden challenging Oblak like that? Ridiculous. I think Foden's just frustrated. I think all the players are frustrated. I agree regarding Saka, so maybe Palmer on the left. We all know we need to change the starting lineup. Do you think he will? He's probably going to have no choice now. I mean, does Southgate have... Because the noise now is even going to be even louder. Surely Mainoo's got to come in. After he's pulled Gallagher after 45 minutes, the same way he's been pulling Trent after 45 minutes, surely now Mainoo comes into that central midfield role. So that is one area I would expect to happen. Trippier seems to be carrying a knock or unfit, so I'd expect a left-back change as well, because I think that's going to be forced on him. Whether he then changes the front 3, I think that's the biggest question. I could easily see him not. Cole Palmer actually gave England a chance, and I really think he should start along with Anthony Gordon. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people would agree with you there. Param, in my opinion, it's simple. Take out Gordon to the left, put Palmer, Foden in attacking central midfield, and play Bellingham and Rice in a double pivot. It's so easy to experiment, but I forgot that Gareth is boss. The problem is, and this is the problem that we aren't acknowledging, Bellingham and Rice have been terrible. I argued in the last game against Denmark, Rice was our worst player. And I think for a portion tonight, it was still the same. Bellingham and Rice can't seem to pass a ball 5 yards at the minute. It's still not happening. So I don't get that. Them two just at the minute are miles off. And I'm not advocating to take Bellingham and Rice out as well. Otherwise, I mean, who do we play? Mainu, Wharton, and Gallagher. No thanks. You know, it's too much inexperience there. But we're not getting the best out of Bellingham like we did in the first game. I mean, Bellingham in that opening game against Serbia was an absolute machine, dominated the game, was our best player by a country mile, and then he's gone missing since. Rice just looks lost, completely lost. Apparently England's group table is exactly the same it was. Italy 92 points for a win then. No, yeah, that's the difference. Bring back Roy and Postman Pat. I think people are genuinely losing sight of the positives. England never have any luck. We are having loads at the minute, playing average, and yet the chips are totally falling for us. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe, Kurt, maybe, because you are right. You are right. Because we don't deserve to top this group. We don't deserve an easy draw as a result of that. But we've got it. We've now got a potentially easy run as well to a final, and I'm not getting ahead of myself. And when I say potential, I mean the big hitters aren't now in our side of the group. But at the minute, like I've said, everybody is a challenge for England, including Iceland if they were there. So we need to have some perspective. Any team, the worst case scenario now is that a Minow or a supposed Minow, like a bloody Iceland or someone like that, knocks us out of the Euros. Would we rather be getting knocked out by France or Germany, or would we want to be seeing Austria knock us out? And that might sound pessimistic, but that's where we're at the minute. Has Southgate lost the changing room? Yeah, I think he might have. Coops, definitely, mate. They don't seem to be playing for him, do they? They don't seem to be playing for him. Their attitude's all a bit half-arsed. They don't seem to... There's no coherence there. And I would say at the World Cup, England were brilliant. England are absolutely fantastic and played some of the best football at the tournament. We were attacking, flowing. It just all clicked. This is complete opposite. And I think the worrying thing is, since these last two games, Southgate is clearly wanting a reaction and isn't getting it. And that is the worry. Very impressed with this Gary Lambert. Gary, really good, mate. You're wasted at JCB. I don't work at JCB. Would Bellingham be better further back? At the minute, Bellingham wouldn't be better anywhere. And I think we need to figure out what's going off with him. Do you think Southgate will be after the Euros? Any viable options? I've heard someone mention Nigel Pearson. The answer to that is Southgate won't be here after the Euros. I mean, imagine if England win the Euros playing like this. I still think everyone will be screaming for him to go. Absolutely. Nigel Pearson, though, no one's screaming for him. Wesley Dunn, I actually think this is a step in the right direction. As poor as Slovenia are, we actually bossed the second half, which is more than we managed against Serbia or Denmark. Right, Wesley, thank you for that, because you are right. I do think it was an improvement on the last two games. We controlled the ball totally throughout the whole game. We didn't let them back in at all like Slovenia and Denmark did. And looking at the group and looking how it's gone, Slovenia are on the same level as Denmark and Serbia. But we didn't even allow Slovenia any footing in the game at all. We pressed higher. We had the ball higher. From that perspective, there were some positives. You're absolutely right. But it's just that attacking intent, isn't it? I think England fan needs to lower their expectations. Given their record and the quality of competitors, it's a bit odd that they're expected to win anything, to be honest. Well, it is now, Paul. I don't know where you're from, mate, but I sort of agree with you. I don't think any England fans there were... I mean, there's a lot of England fans in this chat, so please come in, but I don't think any England fans And this is where I think we get a bad press. And it's because we speak English and everybody else speaks English that English fans seem to get highlighted as the fans that talk most rubbish. But I think all fans talk nonsense. But I don't think... I would say if you took a poll now, the majority of England fans will not believe England are going to win this tournament at all. Top the group, conceding 1 goal, so deceptive. If you put it like that, sounds like a good group stage. Now, perspective is totally overrated. Now the group stage is over. Would you have now taken Grealish? At least he creates on the left. He doesn't create there, and I think that's Grealish. If anything, he'll just turn back and pass back. He'll win you a free kick, but he wouldn't create enough. He wouldn't create enough. He wouldn't create an assist. And this is the problem. I'm seeing so many chats saying now this person is starting. It doesn't matter. The system's wrong. Something is fundamentally wrong. We could play 4 different 11 and it would still be the same result and performance at the minute. Something is not right about the system and about the team. I don't care who comes in. I don't think we're going to see much of an impact. I genuinely mean that. I think we'll see some improvements. Something at the core of this team is really wrong. Something can be said about being the underdog. Teams play up to England's quality to prove a point, so it's a challenging even against lesser squads. Yeah, and I do believe that. I do believe teams play not to get beat rather than to win. And that does create a challenge. Sitting back, I think if anyone's watched any game of England's now the past 6 months, you know exactly how to set up against us. And it does create a problem, but you would argue England's should have the quality to break that down. But at the minute, we don't. Maguire, Henderson and Rashford were in the changing room. Southgate dropped the changing room, I fear. Maybe. Well, Maguire was injured. Henderson probably rightly come out and Rashford rightly come out. So I don't think he's lost the changing room completely. Do you think the players are frustrated because we have all this talent and it seems Southgate can't get the best out of them? Yeah, I mean, the players definitely are frustrated. I've seen Stones, Rice, Bellingham all have strops on the pitch tonight. You can see they're all absolutely frustrated. They're not finding each other. They're not linking up. They're clearly frustrated, but it's on them as well. You know, they've got to make it work, or at least then communicate with the manager what is working or why they're struggling. It's not just all on Gareth Southgate as much as is rightly coming in for a load of criticism here. The players have got to step up. Jude had 2 bad performances in a row, should be dropped in the round of 16. I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't Jude Bellingham, would he be dropped? Possibly. Would you rather fight 10 Nobby Styles sized Harry Maguires or 1 Maguire sized Nobby Styles? I've no idea. Would you rather fight 10 Nobby Styles sized Harry Maguires or 1 Harry Maguire sized Nobby Styles? 1 Harry Maguire. Just giving you a hard time. Don't disregard Austria. They top their... I'm not disregarding... And Leo, 100% I'm not disregarding Austria. And I genuinely, as an England fan now, if you're watching this and you're not from England, I genuinely fear any team England play in this next round. Because they're going to be better than what we've faced already. And we've been poor against these sorts of teams. So don't disregard Austria. They top their group. That had France and the Netherlands. We would need to be able to do that. Austria would destroy us. I'm not sure they'd destroy us, but we'd struggle. The 11 that finished the game should start the next one. Much prefer Walker at left back. Yeah, I would say that swap, even though we only saw it for a few minutes, did seem to work, didn't it? Trent coming in at right back as well seemed all right. I'm telling you, Gary, it's the ultimate irony. We will play bang average all tournament, get a fluke draw all the way to the final, play well once and finally win in Germany of all places. I'm loving that, Kurt. I'm not sure, though. Currently being attacked by a flying mosquito is better than England's attack. Yeah, it's sad because we aced the qualification, beating Italy twice. It feels like that the team has vanished, and now we are looking at toddlers playing their very first game. Since, I think I said in one of my preview videos for this tournament, since the 7-0 North Macedonia win, England have been poor. I mean, there's been a couple of games where we've been all right, but I think for those just joining me, this is now 2 wins in 8 games for England. And you can put Slovenia's in that, Serbia's, Iceland, Denmark's. You know, there's there's a lot of teams in there that you would expect England to have beaten over those 8 games, and it's just 2 wins in 8. It's a real worry at the minute. As bad as England are, we need to relax. This is where the Euros really begin with the next 4 games. We will win the Euros. Stay confident. It's not over yet. Well, no, it's definitely not over yet. And while we're in it, anything can happen. We've certainly seen worse teams than England go on to finals and even win the damn thing. So, yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I don't know. Again, you just expect more from this team. This tournament has been fantastic, and Group C has been completely damaged, the mood of it. But well done to Slovenia. Still don't have a win in the Euros yet, but has been a solid team. I mean, the tournament so far, I would say this is by far the worst group in the Euros. I'd argue, though, this tournament hasn't been that great. And I know the games have been all right, but from what I'm hearing about the way Germany's ran it, fans struggling to get out of grounds, the pitches have been terrible, like really bad. It just feels like, I don't know, it hasn't been the best tournament. It really hasn't at the minute. It needs that, just the whole planning. I feel like the Germans haven't been as efficient with running this. From what I'm hearing, it's not been that great. I agree, Gary. Joking aside, it's the system, not the players. Until we get that right, his house is built on sand. We don't have the foundation at the minute, and he's got to be brave now. Does he change the system? I know playing 4 at the back, and because there was a big argument, wasn't there, about do England play 3 at the back or 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it, in 4-4 with 2 older midfielders, and that seemed to roll on, and then England seemed to find the system, and it's been like that last World Cup, and we've stuck with it, but now it's not working. And you're looking at the squad, the players. Do we have that squad anymore that can do that? There's not the pace of Rashford and Sterling that we used to have. So does it need a change? Possibly. We seem to have 10 number 10s who all want to be in that position, so how do we get the best out of that? It needs looking at, I think, but it has left it too late. This is the few problems England need to solve. Start Palmer and Gordon. Stop the ITV curse. Yeah, well, as soon as it was on ITV, we knew the game was going to be horrendous. Foden needs to stop being stuck to shooting with his left foot and use his right foot sometimes. Foden's been... I'm going to praise Foden. He's looked all right. And I'd definitely give him another go. And I would argue Saka in the first 2 games was better than Foden, but tonight he wasn't. He was poor. Gareth Southgate has done what no other manager could turn the best players in the world into utter garbage. Can't deny it. Yeah, can't deny that at the minute. Watching the match again on ITV +1 to help my insomnia. Yeah, if you need to get to sleep, just stick it on that. I mean, I can't believe we've topped this group. The one highlight, by far, the one shining highlight is Mark Gahey. And the irony, we've all been so worried about England's defence coming into this tournament. That's all the talk was about, is that forget the attack will take care of itself. We've got nothing to worry about there. It's the defence to worry about. Maguire was injured. We just thought the defence is crap. England have had probably the best defence in the Euros in terms of chances created against us. We just don't look like conceding. We've looked really, really strong. So, ironically, England have defensively been the best team at the Euros. On the flip side, we've been the worst attacking team, or one of the worst attacking teams. I think before tonight's game, there was only 2 other teams who have had the least amount of shots on target than England, and that was Georgia and Scotland. That paints a picture. Take the positives in second half. Mainoo or Palmer shown they deserve to play. Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Great to have you with me, mate. Hope you're having a good time. Don't know where you watched it, but I keep thinking I'll do like a barbecue and stuff and get people around for the next game, but it's not worth it, is it? I mean, imagine going to all the effort for that. I mean, the fans, again, I just need to say it. I don't know if anyone's on tonight who was at the game. The fans in the ground were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. And to say they were watching that garbage, I'd say Spain's defence has been the best, not England's. Well, statistically, England has actually been better in terms of chances created against us, shots against us, all that sort of stuff. Well, that was before tonight, and nothing's drastically changed from tonight. So statistically, England do have, I think, out of the teams that are left now, the best defence in the competition. Certainly better than Spain's. But I know what you mean. I would back Spain to keep a clean sheet against us 100%. We have to step up. We got a massive slice of undeserved luck with how the draw has planned out for us. Maybe it really is better to be lucky than good. You don't win a tournament without luck. I don't care who you are. Argentina had it. France have had it. Every team needs luck. Every team needs luck. Assuming we play the Netherlands, do you reckon we win? Possibly. I mean, their defence isn't great. They look terrible today, actually, against Austria at the back. They look all over the place. You look at the squad and you think, how can that England squad? How can you look at that England squad and you look at it even after watching 8 games now, 8 games where England haven't played well on the bounce. Every time you pick up the team sheet and look at it and you think, oh God, surely we're gonna. Surely we'll beat the Netherlands. Surely we'll beat Slovenia. But it just never happens. And I'm just worried again about a better team. I'm more confident now defensive that England can hold their own against anybody. I just don't see us scoring. And that is the problem. We just cannot score. And in that squad with Kane, with Palmer, with Saka, there's close to 100 goals in league football, in top league football over the course of a season, and we're seeing none of it. We have to step up. Sorry, I read that one. Who has been worst, France or England? Possibly France, because I would argue their defence has been worse. And England have scored from open play. And that's saying something, I would argue. And France do honestly look lost without one player. I would say England have been slightly better than France, genuinely. I hope we avoid the Netherlands. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not bothered now who we draw. It's knockout football. We shouldn't be bothered about who we draw. If we're worried about who we're drawing, what we're doing here. You shouldn't care less. Everyone should be worrying about us, not us worrying about them. This is knockout football. This is what we're here for the big games, for the big teams. So bring it on. Bring it on. I don't fear anybody. I don't fear, this is probably the best way to put it, it just come to my head, I don't fear anybody, I fear ourselves more than anybody else. England go out because we will not play to our capabilities, not because the other team destroys us rightly. England will go out because we're not playing at the level we should be playing at. We're going to leave a lot on the pitch. Our defence was decent, to be fair. I feel better because France have been naff, Croatia have been knocked out, and Belgium still need to play to stay in the tournament. France haven't scored a proper goal yet. No, I would argue England have slightly been better than France. Yeah, slightly. But you would argue France have got a much tougher group than us. The smaller teams are shining while most of the top teams are falling. Yeah, apart from Spain. Spain have looked really, really good. And Portugal after the first game. As an eternal optimist, I've seen us wallop people in the group and go straight out in the knockout. Surely we have to get better. Yeah, but we've been saying that now, haven't we? Since the opening match. Surely the next game is going to be better. And I will say, going back, there was an improvement tonight. I think from Serbia to Denmark we got worse, but there's certainly been an improvement tonight. But we're still miles off where we need to be. And I think the interesting thing is we don't really know where this England team are at, because we've played 3 teams who've played the same type of football against us, just basically to get a draw and they'll be happy with it. How are England going to play when a team really comes at them and there is going to be some further space at the back? I don't know. And that's the answer now that we're going to need. I rushed all the way back from London to watch this. And I was worried I was going to miss it. I'll be honest with you. I could have listened to it in the car on the radio and not missed anything. It was that bad. I mean, I'm trying to think of one clear-cut opportunity or one moment where England looked like scoring, and I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I can think of one. Was there anything? I can't think of anything. Scanning back through the first half, second. I mean, the second half was probably worse from an attacking perspective. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm just going to load up the statistics from the game. Like I said, England kept the ball better. We kept the ball so much better, which was brilliant. because we need to. That will play a big part in the next round. We kept the ball so much better, and you might take that for granted against Slovenia, but we weren't doing it against Denmark or Serbia. So I'm happy with that. So England finished with 3 shots on target, 4 shots off. So 7 shots throughout the whole game for 71% of possession. 6 corners. I mean, set pieces. I'm going back to set pieces again. Can you remember, it wasn't long ago that England from set pieces, that was one of our threatening areas. I mean, set pieces now. England could have 60 corners in a match, and I don't think we'd score from a corner. The last time we scored from a set piece, from a corner, was all the way back against Italy at the opening game of the qualification campaign. We've done nothing since. Sorry if I've missed this, but what's your thoughts on Bellingham? Look very leggy. In my opinion, think he should have been subbed 10-50. I was talking about Rice and Bellingham, and the biggest problem is that both of them two have been horrendous. And arguably, if their names weren't Rice and Jude Bellingham, you'd be dropping them. You would, absolutely. I mean, Rice in the Denmark game was horrendous. Bellingham was terrible tonight. Absolutely terrible. Let's call a spade a spade. He was awful. If it isn't Jude Bellingham, people are shouting from the rooftops for him to come out and to get someone like Wharton in or someone else, just anybody. But you can't, and this is the problem. I was saying it, I was enjoying the game. Our biggest problem at the minute, people are concentrating on the width and saying there's no width. It's the central midfield. We can't seem to find someone who partners Rice. Rice himself has been absolutely horrendous, probably England's worst player this tournament. He was certainly England's worst player against Denmark. And Bellingham's had one good game and gone missing on the other two. The biggest problem is central midfield. Forget Kane, forget Saka, forget Foden. The central midfield is crap. Absolutely crap. We can't, I mean, hopefully we have now, but Southgate knew this. Southgate knew the answer when he played him against Belgium and Brazil. So I don't know why he's had to wait 3 games at the Euros to figure this out. But hopefully Mainu is now going to come in and resolves that. But Rice and Bellingham are miles off. Absolutely miles off. And that means for the past 3 games, the entire central mid, apart from the first game where Bellingham was phenomenal, but throughout the whole tournament so far, central midfield has been awful. Absolutely. And no one seems to be talking about it because it's Rice and Bellingham. I know you can't drop them. But I tell you what, you bloody can. If they're playing that crap, they get dropped. That's the whole point of having the best squad at the Euros. Get them dropped. I mean, it depends who we play, whether we do drop them or not. Do you think we played better than the last game? Yeah, we did play better than the last game. We kept the ball much better. Like I said, 70% possession. No point did we let Slovenia in at all like we did against Serbia and Denmark. We kept it so much better. We pressed higher, had the ball higher up the pitch. We were better. There's no doubt about it. We were better, but it was still terrible. I'm going to say better on those performances previously isn't much of a yardstick. We were terrible in the last game, so anything was surely going to be a positive. The good through ball from Gordon at the end was good to Kane and then to Palmer, who had scuffed the final shot. Yeah, and that's it. It's just a forward pass, just a forward direct pass, or someone committing a defence, and that's what we've been missing. Someone pushing forward, and that's what we've been missing. But the midfield has been terrible. I'm not used to getting 5 points. 5 points in top in the group. How have we done that? Stealing a living. Absolutely stealing a living. As bad as we've been, with how easy our side of the bracket is, do you think we get to the final? No, I'm not committing any. I mean, I'll always back England. I don't think there's a team now where I think, unless we play Spain, I've not seen anything from any other team where I think England can't compete. So I'm going to back England against anybody. I'm not going to sit here, though, and say we get to the final after those 3 performances, but then 8 performances in total going back before the tournament even started. England just aren't on form. It's not even tactics with the midfield at this point. It's the players. When this talent is the last thing I thought I would be saying. Yeah, no, it is. It's got nothing to do with the system. When Rice and Bellingham can't find each other or play simple 1-2s or hold the ball and the midfield is just an area that isn't being spoken about. I think Henry Winter tweeted earlier at half time that Rice was having a good game, and he was awful. He improved in the second half. He was much better in the second half, but it was awful in the first half, and he was England's worst player in the Denmark game. But I can't even think of Bellingham touching the ball. He did, but this is how useless he's been. I can't think of any single piece of play he's been involved with over the past 2 games for Jude Bellingham. Not one. I can't think of anything. And that's the biggest problem. Adam Wharton is better than Rice, Mainu, or Gallagher, or whoever else you play there. I mean, the problem is, the way this rate's going, he's probably going to get a game because he's going through midfielders like anybody. But I mean, Trent's played there, Gallagher's played there, Mainu's coming there now. It's only Wharton left. So, surely, Adam Wharton does get a few minutes. Glad that was the result. Sorry, guys, I've had a long day. Glad that was the result. Group topped and easier draw. Now, Rice, Walker, Kane can't keep saying that's tournament football and for the fans to stop complaining. They have to admit they have been miles off. Yeah, I think that's it now. Instead of spending all the next 4 days, 18 hours and 13 minutes moaning about all the complaints they're having, they've got to wake up. They've got to wake up. And I know there is a difference. This is where England fans demand more. And maybe this is why we don't win tournaments, because even though France have been arguably worse, I did not hear their fans boo them off at full time. And I know all teams and everything like that has bad press and pressure put on them. Is the pressure worse for England, though? Do England players get put under more pressure? I'm not sure I buy that. But you do see a different reaction from English fans compared to the way the French are dealing with it, for example. The amount of yellow cards in that match were crazy. Yeah, I mean, there was quite a few Slovenian players, weren't there, who were booked. I think Gallagher was the only player who could potentially miss the next round and he didn't get booked. So we've got a clean slate for the next round. We're not winning because we haven't deployed Dunk yet. I forgot we've got Dunk. I mean, the thing is, as well, is other than Ivan Toney, I'm trying to think of any other attacking options we haven't seen yet. We've seen Eze. I know we haven't seen these for long. We've seen Eze. We've seen Watkins. We've seen Bowen. We've seen Gordon. We've seen Palmer. The only attacking option we've not seen is Toney at the minute, which will be interesting. Fair we boo and others don't, but others have won stuff. Yeah, no, absolutely, Solomon. That's a very good point. Very good point, mate. Others can point to the fact that actually we've been here before and does will go on and win. England have only got, we've seen this before and we know what's going to happen. So, yeah, 100% right. I don't see France winning the Euros. I think the problem is that while they've got Mbappe, they could do, couldn't they? They could play absolutely horrendous for 90. They could play 10 times worse than England for 90 minutes, and Mbappe can just do something because it's just pace, and that's exactly what England are missing. Just pace, just that little bit of pace, and that's what's missing, and that's what Mbappe brings. Funny thing is, Southgate can keep experimenting with that midfield until we reach the final due to the draw. Well, potentially. I think Mainu's got to start. I think that's the obvious answer there. And then go from there. I think we've got it. Please, Southgate, just sort that left flank out as well. Sort it out. Foden's got to start. Does Bellingham get dropped? I think that may be the question we're asking. Does Foden come into that number 10 and Foden get dropped? Sorry, not Foden. Bellingham get dropped. I think that is a realistic possibility. But, I mean, can you imagine the grief Southgate's going to get if he drops Bellingham, even though he's been playing like he has been? I'd like to see Palmer or Gordon come in on that left and start. Yeah, and maybe Watkins. I mean, I said earlier, the 4 changes I want to see is Mainu in midfield, Walker or Gomez left back with Trent right back, another person on the left wing, and potentially a change for Kane. There would be the 4 changes I would look to make. I'd try and stick with Saka, if I'm honest with you. I think play better players with Saka, play with more pace, more directness. I think Saka will come into his own then. Yeah, I mean, you're right. The problem is that the system's not working. The players just aren't bothered, or maybe they are bothered, but it's just not right. So you are right. We could bring anybody in, and the personnel is probably the last point. We need to go back to basics. To Rice's partner, but it's not Judy. He's got a terrible record with him. Yeah, they've not been great together at all. Game was like crying out for Grealish. It was crying out for someone like a Sterling, or dare I say like a Rashford, someone who's going to try and break a line, just create something. Southgate never changes the lineup. It's always been the same these 3 matches, apart from Gallagher this match. I think he'll do. I think he will make changes. I think Mainoo will definitely start the next game, and we'll go from there. But we are where we are. We've topped the group. We are through. We are through to the next round. Top of the group with the draw. Would have all taken that at the start of the tournament. We wouldn't have taken the performances, but would have taken the way it's worked out at the start of this tournament. We are where we are. I'm slightly more optimistic than what I were after the Danish game because we kept the ball better. We pressed better. I'm still really worried though about us offensive-wise. We're just not good enough. Who do you think should be his partner? I'd say Wharton, but to be fair to Gallagher, I thought he was okay. I don't think Gallagher's been the answer. Grealish is the key tone in a low block, but hopefully no more teams sitting back like that. I mean, there will be teams sitting back like that. That's the problem. Who do you hope to get on round of 16? I don't really know, and I'm not bothered. Genuinely, I couldn't, and I've not purposely been looking because it's so ridiculous trying to work it out anyway. I think it'll be the Netherlands. From what I've been reading and understanding, I think it'll be the Netherlands, and then bring it on. You know, knockout football at the Euros. We've just got to face up now. Whoever we get, bring it on, and let's hope we can win it. You know, we shouldn't be fearing anybody. Let's see what we can do. And I know it feels a bit flat, but we've done what we needed to do. That's the positives. Mark Gahey's been a positive. We've kept the ball better, which has been a positive. More for Southgate to understand and learn from. It's just now, come on, another step. If we keep making, I do think there's been a 5-10% increase on the last performance. Take another 5-10%, and maybe we might start to bring that form back into line where it should be. I don't think Trippier is getting enough criticism. He's been awful as wing back. I think the problem is Trippier's playing out of position. We all know that, so it's harsh to blame him. But why? When you've got Gomez, he could have taken left backs, and that's so. Yeah, Southgate's thrown him under the bus a little bit. Doesn't run along the pitch on the wing, and he's always slows down our game and passing backwards. I bring on Holland. Worst thing is we get knocked out, and it's egg on the players' faces. I mean, we don't want to get knocked out, do we, though? I mean, come on, England. I'm optimistic. Whoever we get, we will put the 2 teams side by side and think England should no doubt be competing, if not beating that team. Whether they can do it or not is the key. Can England take another 5-10% step in improvement? And, you know, I do think it may take that moment, that spark, you know, a goal or a couple of quick goals, and I think England can still find its place. And I don't think whoever England are going to play, even though they may have scored more goals than us, because everyone has, but whoever England play in the next round, I wouldn't argue that team is going to have played better football than England. We're solid at the back, and we have. Well, no, I was going to say we have been creative up front, but we haven't. We haven't created anything up front, but we've been solid at the back, and I think with a team that's going to play more open against us, I think we'll have more success. You say Walker left back, then why not just put Trippier right back then? I think he'll be much more a threat with his crosses and can actually, yeah, possibly. Trent didn't play too bad there when he came on. I mean, ideally, I'd like Gomez left back because he's played there all season for Liverpool, and Walker right back. That would be my answer. But I don't think Trippier's fit. I was surprised he started tonight. I thought he was injured. And he came off, obviously, with a bit of a nick. He doesn't seem fully fit. He's obviously out for a big portion of the season with Newcastle. So I think a change at left back is going to be forced on Gareth a little bit. Robert, thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much. much. Really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the Euros, mate. Even though England are by far in the worst group of the tournament. But thank you so much. I mean, I'm going to have to do some research on that. Is this probably the worst Euros group there's ever been? And this isn't just England. I'm talking about Serbia, Slovenia and Denmark. I mean, it's been terrible. 2 0-0 draws on the last round. 1-0s and 1-1s. It's been terrible. England's group has been by far the worst group in this tournament. Only team that bothers me is Austria in the semis. I think we'll get that far, but we'll see. I mean, Austria's never won a game in a knockout round. As good as they've played, let's still see what they're about if they play a better team. I don't know. I'd still fancy England against Austria, although I wouldn't underestimate them. I think the most boring group stage 2010. Austria are scary good. The darkest of horses. Yep, left back change seems likely. Trips has done a shift considering situation. Still think it was worth the gamble on Shaw given 26. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. Where the bloody hell's Luke Shaw? Like, is he fit or not? What is going off? That's looking like a mistake, isn't it? Taking Luke Shaw and not taking a Chilwell or a Tyreek Mitchell. It's looking like a mistake. So but an actual left back should have also been taken. Luke Shaw playing next game, possibly, but it depends. Is he fit? Is it again just putting him in because we've got a gap? You know, play Gomez there. That's what you've told for, surely. England versus Netherlands, aka the Darts Derby. It would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be a good game. I think I've said this every time. Surely, again, the next game's only going to be an improvement, only going to get better in terms of excitement. I'm really pleased that England defensively looks solid, and I think I need to go back to that because at the start of the tournament, I thought our defence is what's going to cost us, and it isn't. Our defence is solid, it's tight. It's our attack that's going to cost us at the minute. But let's see. Let's see how England do. We're through. We are through to the round of 16. 4 days, 18 hours. We'll be there this Sunday, 5 o'clock. Fingers crossed for good weather. Let's all make a day of it so we can all enjoy it. The England fans that are there tonight, well done for making us heard. You were absolutely fantastic. Thank you all, everyone, for joining me. I'll cut it short because we're looking at 11 o'clock. It's a late one. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll be doing another live stream after Sunday's game. Hopefully, we're into the quarterfinals. But thank you all for joining me. Slight improvement. I think we're all in the same boat where we just feel a bit like, where's this England team going? But we're all in it together. I'll drop a preview video when we actually know who England are playing. And I need to figure out when that's going to be because there might be a quick turnaround on that. But thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you on my next video. And thank you all for joining the live stream. Just finish off with a few chats, actually. Still can't believe I watched you playing predominantly left wing today. That triangular faux Jude Trippier really struggled. Yeah, absolutely. Can't afford to be lacklustre against Austria. Probably the most high-energy team in the tournament. Absolutely. Thank you for the stream, says New Artist. No problem, guys. Well, thank you all so much. Have a brilliant rest of the week at work. Bring on Sunday. England are still in the tournament. And we're still on our way to it coming home. Fingers crossed. Catch you all later.